Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices, and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Recently, I released a video called the top 15 board games to start a collection with, and it was basically me coming up with games that are very good for new people to get involved in the hobby, maybe some of the first games they might want to look at buying, cross sections of all different genres. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link for it in the description below so you can check that video out. But one of the games that made that is one of the most popular games out there in modern times is Ticket to Ride. So I thought I've also been doing a series lately called If You Like This Game, You Might Love These. So I thought it would make sense to do this now. So I'm going to go over if you like Ticket to Ride. Here's a few other choices that you might love if you do so. So let's take a look. Now the first one it's kind of cheating because you may or may not know this exists. But if you're here and you're watching this, you probably like Ticket to Ride, and you probably already know this is out, but there are two miniature versions of Ticket to Ride that are a lot less expensive. They're $20, and they only take 10 to 15 minutes to play, and it's the best way to introduce someone new to games or new to Ticket to Ride to it without having to spend a full 45-minute game. And it's Ticket to Ride New York and Ticket to Ride London. They both have different twists. New York has taxi cabs, London has the big red buses, and there's different twists to how the bonuses work and things like that. But, you know, it's basically miniaturized Ticket to Rides. $20, 15 minutes to play. It's a little bonus here. It's not a real one. This is kind of one I shoehorned in here just to make sure. I want to make sure you saw this if you didn't know they existed. And again, all the reviews for all these games are going to be in the description of the video so you can look at them further. So the easiest no-brainer is check out the smaller miniature versions of Ticket to Ride. So on to the first, normal-sized game. Okay, this first main recommendation is called Trekking the National Parks. Now, this game feels a lot like Ticket to Ride, which is why it's on this list. You're essentially trying to go around the United States. You're going to different spots in the country. You're visiting and experiencing the different national parks that are in the game, but you're doing this in a similar way that you are in Ticket to Ride. You're either drawing or playing cards. But the cool thing is there's multi-use cards. Some of the cards, if you use the numbers, allow you to move certain spots on the map. But if you're trying to claim a park card and experience a park, you're needing to use the icons and the colors of the cards, like the forest and the boots and the canoes and things like that. So it's cool because it's similar to Ticket to Ride where you're usually just picking up cards or playing cards, but there's two different ways to use the cards, which is cool. Also, you can go to these grand parks, which gives you special abilities. So overall, it's the same weight as Ticket to Ride. It sort of, there's a map. You're not building routes, but you're using those routes to move around. You're trying to go to the right spots, and then when you go to spots, you're also fighting for majorities because you get to collect these gems when you go to different spots, and you're getting points for having specific majorities at the end. So there's probably a little bit more going on than Ticket to Ride. Not a whole lot, but it's in that same realm. It has some similarities, but yet it still feels different. So if you like Ticket to Ride, I think you'll like this because, again, it will feel familiar, yet still feel very different. And so I think this is a great one to try. Also, it's a really cool idea that Charlie Bake designed this game, and he designed it with his dad. And his dad they used to go to a lot of parks as kids, and then a lot of the pictures that are in there from his dad taking them at the different parks. And so they incorporated their family life into this game, and I think that's just a cool idea. The next one is called Ethnos. This came out from Simon, or Come On. It's for 2 to 6 players. It takes 45 minutes to 60 minutes to play, and I have a quick 1-minute overview to show you how the game's played. Ethnos is a 2 to 6 player area control game where you're going to be trying to place your markers in different regions to get a certain amount of points depending on which round it is in the game, and all of these points are randomized but always ascending each game, so some kingdoms might never look good where others look good pretty much many of the times. On your turn, you'll be picking up cards or playing cards to try to get control. And when you play cards, you can play all the same type or all the same colors, and then decide which one is the leader and use a special ability like, hey, placing your marker on any kingdom on the board because you're flying around. And the cards you didn't use when you placed cards go out to the middle, which can help other opponents. And you only use half of the factions that's in the game, and many of them have different boards that do different and interesting things. And at the end of the round, you'll be adding up your points depending on control, and you'll also be getting points for how big of the sets of cards that you've played. All right, now the reason why I like this one is the set collection feels similar to Ticket to Ride, where you're picking up cards and you're playing cards, kind of like that. But instead of like route building and secret goals and things like that, everything's out in the open and it's more area control or area majority versus that route building. And I like that you're sort of playing sets of colors or types. So you might use all the same colors and you put them down and do something with them. Or you're playing all the same types of monsters and using them. Now, if you're using the colors, you get to actually choose which of the abilities goes on top, and each of the different sort of factions or types of cards do something different. They give you a different ability when you play them, and that's kind of cool. It gives you sort of like a different thing to think about after you're playing the cards or how you're mixing these cards together. Now, another cool thing is like the cards in your hand that you don't use when you play cards all leave your hand and go to the table and become options for other players. And so that's important because you're looking at what you're giving up and you're going, ooh, I don't want to give these up because then the next player is that. They're fighting for me over here. They're going to be able to take that and possibly take me out over there, so I'm not going to do that. So it's like another element, another layer of depth there to think about what you're doing. And even though it doesn't look like Ticket to Ride, there's no route building, the sort of hand management, how things work and how you're picking up cards or playing them like Ticket to Ride feels like that, and the fact that you're making the sets. But again, the way you make those sets are completely different and they're flexible. Plus, you only use about half of the types of monsters each game, and you mix them up or you can pick them yourself. So every game also feels a little bit different and everything's in the middle. So if you like the part about blocking people and taking people out of Ticket to Ride, here there's no hidden information really on the board. You know what you're fighting for. Those are going to change round to round, and that's an also cool thing too, more longer term planning there, and it changes every game too. So this is an excellent choice if you want to have a little bit more strategy than Ticket to Ride, have some more in-your-face combat and things like that with other players, but excellent choice here for Ethnos. Now this next one actually has two editions, an older version and a newer version. It is called Royals, and this is actually part of the Dice Tower Essentials line. I'm going to play you a 1-minute overview of this. Royals is a 2 to 5 player area control game where you're trying to take control over cities, countries, and noble people. The game centers around drawing and playing cards of certain colors to take over certain types of noblemen in certain cities. Then there's different ways to earn points by being the first ones there, being the first one to go in every city, being the first one to control at least one of every noble, and at the end of the round being the first or second powerful person to control each of the countries. But it can also get a little bit mean because people can use intrigue cards to knock people out of office. The one who's able to balance getting to cities fastest, controlling them over the course of time, controlling nobles at the end of the game, being first one to have all of them, or be the first one to have every city in the country is going to win the game. Now, again, similar to Ticket to Ride, you're drawing cards or playing cards, and you're trying to sort of get sets. So you're trying to get the sets for the colors of the areas that you want to play down, but you need a different amount of cards depending on which sort of noble you're trying to take over in that specific country. So you might need more or less depending on what you're going for. There's many more goals to go for here that you're racing for. Like maybe you're trying to be the first in every city played. Maybe you're trying to be the first to have one of each of the different nobles to get a bonus. Maybe you want to have a majority of a specific noble. I went to the most on the king, right? So I get this bonus at the end of the game. Maybe I want to control the most of certain things in a country. So as the simple mechanisms of on your turn, drawing cards or playing cards, same as Ticket to Ride, you're sort of more fighting over different areas, but there's many different avenues you can go, as I just mentioned. Cities, countries, nobles, variety, you got to take certain cards to take out. You can actually kick people out of places, but you need different cards for those. So it has sort of that very streamlined turn structure where turns move very fast. But this is one that's definitely, like Ethnos, has more going on, and if you want a deeper experience in Ticket to Ride, then it is. So in summary, this one is a great choice because it's very combative, very simple, but it has a lot more depth than Ticket to Ride. Well, I hope you learned about some new ones, or if you knew about them, learned a little bit more about them. Now, in summary, of course, the no-brainers are the miniature Ticket to Rides. If you want something that's similar in weight and feel, trekking the national parks. If you're looking for something that's deeper, Ethnos and Royals go both in that direction. They're both deeper strategy games, but still both of them not too long. Both of them, Ethnos will end in about 60 minutes. Royals can go maybe an hour and 15. It's a little bit longer, but you can play it less than 60. But I hope this video has helped you out. This has been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships through board games by helping you find the next one you'll love. Did you miss the Game Topper 2.0 Kickstarter? Have no fear. It's not too late to get in on the ultimate gaming accessory. Convert your table into a high-quality gaming table with a fully portable game topper system and take advantage of some of the best 3mm premium gaming mats in the industry. New styles, new sizes, and new accessories can be yours. Upgrade every game you play by late backing now at GameToppersLLC.com.